All right, so I had around 14 days to get my first Asoebi wedding guest gown custom made in Nigeria and then shipped to Houston before I arrived. Did we achieve it? It was an adventure. Let's talk about it. By the way, if you have no clue what the process is for getting one of these dresses made, you will definitely want to watch this. So you know everything you need to know to have a smooth process, and most importantly, what not to do. Okay, so it's always been a dream of mine to attend a Nigerian wedding, like literally since college. And when my West Indian behind found out that I had 41% of Nigerian ancestry, it only solidified the goal. So I linked up with my friend Wale and I was venting for the millionth time about how I've never been able to go to a Nigerian wedding and how my friends had let me down. Lo and behold, Sir Wale extended an invitation to this really big wedding that he was going to in Houston, Texas, AKA Little Nigeria, because it has the highest population of Nigerians in the US. Oh, it was on. I was ready. I had to go. So first things first, I needed to find a dress. So I started researching. All right, so as I mentioned in my video, 10 things I wish I knew before attending a Nigerian wedding. Nigerian weddings are a flex. So I knew I couldn't come with just anything. Thankfully, I was able to get the last piece of Asoebi fabric for this wedding. It's a fabric that everyone wears to show what family they're with or which part of the wedding party they represent. So when you get to the wedding, it's really cool because you're gonna see a bunch of different renditions of different dresses, custom made from the same fabric. So it's kind of cool to see, okay, you might have decided, all right, I'm gonna do a long gown. Someone does a short gown. Someone does more bling to their gown. Someone does off shoulders. It's cool to see. Okay, so next I needed some inspo. So I hopped on Instagram and found all these beautiful dresses. You know what it is? The algorithm doesn't show you stuff unless you've already discovered it somehow on your own. So once I tapped into some of the Asoebi dresses, it started flooding my timeline. It was really hard to figure out which one do I want to do. But here's what I landed on. So I loved the top of this girl's dress because the neckline and like the sleeves were beautiful. And then I knew they'd be a great complement to like my collarbone. And here's the thing, the best dresses, in my opinion, are the dresses that highlight your best assets. So for me, that's the collarbone. I wanted to do like a little V cut since the waist would be cinched with a corset, make it look even smaller. And I opted for a slit, bella. Another highlight. I also got the slit because if you've seen the video with the girls in the Asoebi dresses who are like tripping over their dresses because they're super restricted or super long, yeah, I wasn't built for that. But now it was time to find a dress designer. Y'all, what do you do when you have no connections in Nigeria, but you need to get your dress made there? Here's what you do. You hop on Instagram. Again, let it be your best friend. That and TikTok. You also hit up everybody you know to see what designer connections they have. But whenever I saw somebody with a beautiful, high quality dress, I stalked them, see who the designer was, made a note, and usually the phone number was in their WhatsApp, so I went there and then gave them a call. Here's the thing you gotta understand. Most people get their dresses like months in advance. I'm over here getting my dress 2 weeks made. In a whole other country, it's a different ball game. But when I tell you the prices in Nigeria are definitely more cost effective or more pocket friendly, it's true. But they still were a little more than my budget at the time. So the prices ranged from like $400 to $2,000. But when you see like all the intricate details and things that they do, definitely well worth it. I'm just preparing you for when you make your dress so you know the budget that you're dealing with. By the way, if you guys want a list of designers and the fabric companies that I found, I sent that out in a recent newsletter. So click the link in the description and I'll go ahead and send that to you. So this was the designer that I found. Madam Nicole Stylish, everybody. So what I loved about her is she was quick with her responses, which wasn't the case with everybody else. We got on a consultation call right away and I had an invoice in like 24 hours. By the way, in the consultation, she showed me how to properly measure myself so I could give her the measurements to make the dress, and also shared like a couple of edits to my original ideas and inspos for the dress. And here's the thing, I know that Nigerians are known for being like straight to the point, blunt, but the thing that had me dying is that when I'd show her stuff that she was not feeling, she'd be like, nah. It didn't bother me because the thing is like, you're the expert. So like, if you know there's a better way, by all means, please let me know. So she told me that the V-cut was a look that a lot of people were doing, and we could go our own unique route by doing a slanted hip waist like this And yeah, I was like, oh yeah, let's do that, because it complemented the slit that I did too very, very nicely. Oh, she also suggested that instead of doing like a nude corset with like colored strips, to just make it all nude, and she'll fill it in with beading, which had me dying. It was either that or the V-cut that she was talking about, but she was like, please, I beg you, if I have to do another V-cut again, I'm gonna, it's like, oh, is that serious? I was like, say no more. I'm not trying to do the played out look if it's played out. She didn't say that, but I'm just saying. I was like, let's go the unique route. I'm down. So here's another tip for you. Asoebi fabric is usually made in Nigeria. So if you get the dress made in Nigeria, it's even better, because then you don't have to worry about it being shipped to the US, waiting for it to come to give it to your designer, if you're crunched for time. If you got a nice designer like mine, she might pick it up for you. But I was freaking out the first day because they weren't available for her to pick it up. She went to go pick it up, weren't available. I mean, I only had 14 days, y'all. Every day counted, but Nicole was good. She reassured me, she calmed me down. She's like, don't worry, we're gonna get it in time. We're gonna get the dress made. And then day 2, she picked it up. So here's the thing about the Asoebi dresses. All you have to provide them with is the fabric, and they'll provide the jewels, the corset, the flesh tone lace, the fabric that goes under the Asoebi fabric. If it's like a lace see-through fabric, that's where the price is coming from. And then of course, craftsmanship, if you get a good designer, is worth it. Which is honestly such a relief, because can you imagine trying to locate all those different things in Nigeria and having it sent to the, like, too much work. Now, after the consultation call, I decided to give my designer some space and let her complete my dress. So a week went by and she was responsive to all my questions, but my dress was not complete. Another couple of days passed and I was starting to get scared again. I mean, it didn't help that I had let a bunch of friends and family know. Like, people were invested in my story now. So they were asking, how's the process going? Send me the pictures, send me the updates so I could see it. Meanwhile, I ain't had no updates. And in my mind, I was like, did I spend this money for no reason and now I'm gonna have no dress to wear to this wedding? But alas, a text message came through and I saw this. It was so beautiful and embodied everything that I wanted. Like, Nicole did her thing. Also, comparing my pictures to the flesh tone on the screen, something felt off. And I was really scared that it wasn't gonna match my skin tone and look a lot lighter, because it looked like a noticeable amount to me. And 2, being a part of the itty bitty committee, I knew that I would not fill those cups up, which depressed me. So again, freaking out. What's new? 14 days to get it shipped to Houston. Remember this, okay? I had reason. But thankfully, Nicole told me she had like magic boob inserts that would give me magic extreme lift. Then when I looked up some other girls who didn't like perfectly match the flesh tone of the corset, it didn't look that bad. So she shipped off the dress and it was on its way from Nigeria to Houston. You would think we were good by this point, right? No, because the next big challenge was, would it arrive on time? And will it fit? Mind you, I had not been in Nigeria to try this dress on. I literally only gave her my measurements. It was a lot, y'all. So if you want to know how much the delivery cost was, that bad boy was $100, but so worth it because the dress arrived in 4 days and I had it in my possession. But there was another problem. Why? The only thing is the zipper doesn't zip up. Maybe like an extra inch I could have used. It did not fit. It didn't fit my hips. So I had to remove the hip pads. I squeezed my butt into it and I thought I was good until I tried to sit down. And I could not sit down, y'all. I couldn't. Now, I literally debated just standing up for the entire wedding. Like, comment below and let me know if you would do that, because you had to remember, I had gone through this whole 2-week process. I had spent this money. I had another dress, but it was basic. I wanna look, you know, I wanna do this up right. It's my first Nigerian wedding. Would you have done it? Just stood up the whole night and just opted to not sit down so you can wear this dress? I'm curious, let me know. But that literally ruined my whole night. And once I was done woosahing, you know, I decided to call Nicole. Thankfully, my mom was like, just call her. Maybe she has a solution that you're unaware of. And guess what, y'all? There was a solution that I was unaware of. Here's your next tip. Make sure you let your designer know to add allowance, all right? Allowance is basically extra fabric in the dress that allows you to make it bigger if it doesn't fit. When I tell you how excited I was to know that, woo! And then your next tip after that is to make sure you have a tailor lined up for when that dress arrives to get it over to them. So William the tailor, y'all, if you're in Houston, Texas, you gotta go to him. He works with Asoebi dresses all the time. And he also works with Akbada as well for the guys. So highly, highly, highly recommend him. Now, if you can, have your designer make the dress a little bigger, because that's definitely going to be cheaper and quicker than the opposite and what I had to do. Here's another tip. If this is your first time getting an Asoebi dress made, get your dress well in advance, because you do not know what's gonna come up. You do not know what you're gonna need to do. Even the back of the dress, I had to buy new ribbon, but because I wanted a different color for the corset. You just wanna allow yourself enough time to do everything that you need to do, so get your dress made early. So when it came to William, I was still in doubt, honestly, because I had already had a couple of mishaps. I'm like, is this really gonna work? Meanwhile, God was telling me it was going to, so I don't even know why I doubted. But him and Nicole hopped on a call, thankfully, and they partnered on that whole thing. We were expecting the dress to take like a day, but it took like, I think about 3 days, because according to William, he had to completely deconstruct the dress and rebuild it. And whoo, child. In the end, this was the final dress, y'all. Look at that. Oh my gosh. When I tell you, William and Nicole, y'all did your thing. The flesh tone matched. The corset had me snatched. The quality was so good. I love the creative liberties that she took and how she positioned the fabric, the choice of jewels that she placed on it. I had nothing to do with that. She killed the diagonal hip line, and it perfectly balanced the slit that I wanted too, the side that she placed it on. Oh, and let me add, you remember that boob situation that I mentioned, that big fear? Look at this dress! You have no clue there was an initial problem. Look, the inserts, she made them herself. They did their thing for this itty bitty. Nicole, again, you killed it. Reminder, this is what I ordered. Inspo 1, right? And Inspo 2, this slit. And then this, the side, yup. Did she nail that? Comment below, let me know. Again, this involves so much, so if you want me to share the designers that I found, all the designers, the fabric places in Nigeria where I found really good, high quality looking jewelry for under 20 bucks and purses, my tailor, and some quick tips, definitely make sure you sign up for my newsletter below and I'll send you that most recent one so that you can check that out. Let me make your experience easier. You don't need to go through what I went through. Now, if you want to see exactly how this wedding went, make sure you click on this video. And then after, you can head to my Instagram stories to watch the highlights with the big Nigerian flag, to watch the stories and see how it went as well. Enjoy, y'all.